Welcome to Halifax, with beautiful beaches, astonishing architecture, an anti-submarine net, damn those Germans, about 60 to 65,000 residents, with many of them living near our beautiful harbour, and giant cargo ships loaded with explosives destined for World War I, cycling right in front of our residents' windows. What could go wrong? Well, I'll
tell you. It all started on the night of December 5th, 1917, where the Norwegian vessel SS Imo was preparing to leave the harbour before the anti-submarine nets were pulled up for the night to defend against these pesky little German subs. But due to a late coal shipment, it missed the window and had to stay the night. At the next morning, the Mont Blanc, a French munitions ship that was carrying about 2,653 tons of various explosives destined for World War I, was preparing to enter the Halifax harbour after the anti-submarine nets were lowered for the morning. I think I don't have to say that 2,653 tons of various explosives having the potential to explode with the force of 2.9 kilotons of TNT should be carried with extreme caution and protection. Maybe some guard boats or something. Well, the same thing the harbour pilot Francis McGee said after being tasked to navigate the ship into port. But well, no one listened. So the Mont Blanc entered the harbour unprotected. On the other side of the harbour, the SS Imo was starting to leave in a hurry to make up for the time they lost on that coal shipment. So they steamed ahead like they were the only boat in the harbour, completely ignoring the speed limit of 5 knots. The situation wasn't made easier when the Imo had to dodge some boats driving on the wrong side of the channel, through which it found itself on the wrong side of the channel, heading straight for the incoming traffic. And of course, still speeding. At this point, Francis McGee also started seeing the Imo heading straight for them. Probably panicking slightly with the thought of his cargo in mind, he sounded the whistle once to let the Imo know that they had the right of way. Well, the Imo answered with 2 blasts of their horns, basically telling them to fuck off. The Mont Blanc immediately stopped their engines, angled themselves closer to shore and sounded their whistle again in hopes the Imo would pass them on the port side. Well, the Imo again answered with 2 blasts. So basically we have one ship on the wrong lane, way above the speed limit, heading straight for what basically is the 7th of the Hiroshima bomb, and is not willing to change its course. Oh yeah, and all of that is still happening at the heart of a populated city. At this point, even the Imo realized that the situation is kind of problematic and they cut their engine. But their momentum still carried them slowly to one another. It was probably very anticlimactic. Luckily, the 2 ships ended up almost parallel to each other and came to a halt. Nothing happened. Crisis averted. But what's that? 3 signal blasts from the Imo indicating that they're going to reverse. Oh no. The height difference by the Imo not being completely loaded, combined with it swinging into the Mont Blanc, caused benzol canisters to burst open, covering the whole deck of the Mont Blanc in highly flammable liquid. Fun fact, metal rubbing against metal produces sparks. Now that's a lot of damage. As the fuse had basically been lit, many people viewed the spectacle not knowing that their lives were on a timer. To make things worse, after the crew of the Mont Blanc abandoned ship for obvious reasons, the Mont Blanc drifted right into harbour. At the same time, a railway dispatcher called Vince Coleman, after hearing about the severity of the situation, decided to stay behind and warn incoming trains, saving hundreds of lives with some of the most legendary last words I've ever heard.
Hold up the train. Ammunition ship afire in harbor making for Pier 6 and will explode. Guess this will be my last message. Goodbye, boys.
About 1,600 people died that day and a further 6,000 were injured. Every building in a 2.6 kilometer radius was completely destroyed. The blast was so severe that the 90mm gun of the Mont Blanc, you know, this thing, landed about 5.6 kilometers away from the blast site near Albor Lake. The blast created a tsunami. Burning stoves in the destroyed houses set the whole blast site ablaze, and later rescue efforts were made way more difficult when a blizzard hit the region. You know, if there was a god and he had some kind of plan, then what the fuck was he smoking here? Oh, well, I guess he went on a holiday and only came back in 1945.
I'm home. What the fuck are you doing, you little...
So gamers, Today we learned that you should really follow the traffic laws, and that having a big pile of explosives in the center of a city really isn't the best idea. Oh yeah, and